What's good and welcome to the Lava Lounge. I'm Geronimo Davis, and this week's guest is Samri, vocalist, singer, songwriter. Samri, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So I brought you here today because number one, I love your music, I love your sound, and I wanted to just introduce a little bit about yourself, about how you got started in music, where you're from, and just give people a little taste of that.
Yeah, so my artist name is Samri. My full name is Samrawi. My people will understand what that means. Basically means a good Samaritan. I am a California-based singer-songwriter, but I'm from Addis originally.
Okay.
So I came here to study music. I'm a voice teacher.
Okay.
That's what I do, and my passion is writing music and recording music. So yeah, basically my music is influence of both worlds, Western music and the pentatonic sounds of Ethiopian music that I grew up listening to.
And I'm glad that we're able to bring a different sound into just the thoughts and minds of listeners because I felt it was important being a black man, not hearing a lot of music from individual countries in Africa as well as just something as a whole. It's usually masked to the American black person. I feel as not really a connection, just like sounds versus the true connection that it has to our past and to our future. So I just wanted to bring you on to highlight that. So please tell a little bit more about the language. You're not going to understand if some Americans may not understand. I would say that I don't want to be biased or anything like that. But I wanted to highlight the language. It sounds beautiful, especially with your voice. So just explain a little bit about the language and what directed you to still continue to make music in your language in an American culture.
Oh, that's a wonderful question. So this album is mainly in Amharic. That's my native tongue, or Amarinya. So it's one of the most commonly spoken Semitic languages in East Africa. But we have about like 86 different languages in the country. So we are very diverse in that sense. So coming to the American culture and growing up listening to American music, right? So I have that influence and I also write in English, but it felt like I was like in a unique position to kind of use both influences to create a new sound. So I'm very appreciative of the musicians that came before us, that created that kind of sound, the Ethio jazz sound, because they were American trained, but grew up in Ethiopia. So I just kind of wanted to pursue and follow that tradition. Of course, I'm going to have English records coming out, but I didn't want to, I didn't just want to make a contribution to the American music scene or world music scene, but I also wanted to make a contribution to the African music scene, especially being a female singer-songwriter, right? So being that hybrid crossover artist is very important to me. Even though I mainly sing in Amharic and English, I also can speak Tigrinya, which is a language spoken in Eritrea. So I would love to pursue that and be able to sing in multiple languages in Africa because that's just something that's important to me. But as a songwriter, I'm kind of limited in writing in languages that I don't have a full grasp on. So yeah, basically, those are my influences.
What should we know about Ethiopian music? What should we know about the music scene and what what it's about, what type of there's people, I think every race has and every culture has songs that are about, whether it's about family or lifestyle. What does the Ethiopian music scene gravitate to?
That's actually a wonderful question because a lot of people don't really know about Ethiopian music. Being the only country that was never colonized, we have like sort of a pure sound and we've kept, to our traditions, but we haven't been able to cross over because we don't have those influences, right? But our music is mainly based on pentatonic scales. But as a person who understands like blues or soul or jazz, you'll be able to hear something and recognize it because all that music comes from that part of the world, right? So some of our scales are very familiar to the Western listener, especially to people of color, right? Because they understand those scales. Yeah. So and we have our own traditional instruments, but now the modern take on those scales, right? The modern take on that interpretation is what's kind of, being considered Ethio jazz and crossing over to the rest of the world. So traditional music is always, the same everywhere. It's about love, it's about survival, it's about tradition and culture, and basically the moral values of the society that you want to, pass to the next generation. So I believe everybody thinks about the same thing, the human circumstance.
Definitely. And I highly recommend, do all the Google searching you need to do. YouTube, I'm sure. If there's any, if there's any other information, I'll make sure I'll find out and just kind of put it in the description of the video and everything. So you are a trained vocalist. You went to school to do this as a profession. So can you please tell us a little bit of information about that? What school did you attend? What do you do with that? How do how does that work? A lot of people love to sing, but you are making this not only a profession while pursuing it as an artist, but as a living, breathing job daily.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting path that I took because, as I said, because we don't have that much of a Western influence other than what we see on TV, it was really sort of like a culture shock to come here and study classical music because my people don't listen to classical music, let's just say that, right? And then, I have to sing in a lot of like Italian operas and Spanish and German and French, a lot of European tradition, right? So that was I was like, okay, right? It was really daunting and it was a lot of hard work. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of hard work because I didn't see myself like writing or performing music like that. But as one of my professors told me, just learning the standards of anything, learning the basics of anything is the same in anything, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to be a musician, just studying music in general is very important, no matter what your interpretation is. So I just saw it as a challenge, and I'm like, even if I'm not gonna perform this kind of music, I don't do this for a living. It's gonna help me be a better performer. So, and I'm naturally a very nervous person, so going to school kind of helped me, especially if you have to perform the language you don't understand in front of people where people are just staring at you and they're not allowed to clap or join in because it's very conservative, right? Very formal setting. So if you can perform in that situation, you'll probably be okay performing something you know and love and understand,
Yeah.
So not to say that I don't love classical music. I do love it, but it's not like my go-to genre as a performer.
Yeah. Okay.
So I went to school at Cal State East Bay here in Hayward. My degree is in vocal performance. So I have a bachelor's in vocal performance. So yeah, that's what I do. I teach music because that's what I love to do. But yeah.
And when you teach music, you do vocal lessons, any other types of teaching?
I have some theory students and I have voice students, but mostly I teach voice, ear training, and technique. I teach anything that has to do with music, basically, but geared towards, just strengthening your voice and being able to express, whatever it is you want to express with your voice.
So, speaking of performances and performing, you came here today to perform one of your songs. Please tell us the name of your song and give a little bit of inspiration behind that record.
So this track is called Musik an Fikr, which means music and love.
Okay.
So the song is about someone who is looking to find someone to love, right? But kind of observing what we learn from society about what love is, because we don't really love the people we're with. We're always trying to find somebody else to love. So it kind of is a sort of critical of that, but also saying, I just want to know what love is, and I want someone to show me, right?
Cool.
To inspire me.
Yeah, it sounds cool. The method at which you went about, and then hearing the song inspiration, kind of it all ties together, so you can kind of see in your music, where everything kind of meshes and meets. So I would encourage everybody to make sure that you check out this performance. Make sure that you follow Samri at her social media pages, which is, can you please go ahead and tell that to everybody?
My Instagram handle is Samassafa, SAMASSEFA, and I have a Samri music page on Facebook and on YouTube, and I'm on all digital platforms, basically. If you type Samri, you'll be able to find me.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much for being here. And make sure you check out this performance and make sure you follow her and stream her music everywhere. Thanks for joining us this week, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
ሽፍንፍን ዓለም ውስጥ በፍርሃት ተውጣ ፍቅር ትጣራለች ከሰው ልብ አድፍጣ ደሞ አንተ ደሞ አንቺ እየተባባሉ የሰው ልጅ ርቧቸው ሰዎች ይሞታሉ። I wanna know I love it. አንተ ለኔ ነህ አንተ ለኔ ነህ ሙዚቃና ፍቅር 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 ቅዱስ ሙዚቃ ሙዚቃ የፍቅር ቋንቋ በሰው ልብ ትርታ ቅኝተ ቀኝቶ ፍቅር ሙዚቃ ነው ላዳመጠው ቀንቶ ደሞ አንተ ደሞ አንቺ እየተባባሉ የሰው ልጅ ርቧቸው ሰዎች ይሞታሉ። ፍቅር 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 ቅዱስ ሙዚቃ ሙዚቃ የፍቅር ቋንቋ ፍቅር 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 ቅዱስ ሙዚቃ ሙዚቃ የፍቅር ቋንቋ ፍቅር 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 ቅዱስ ሙዚቃ ሙዚቃ የፍቅር ቋንቋ ፍቅር 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 ቅዱስ አንተ ለኔ ነህ አንተ ለኔ ነህ ሙዚቃና ፍቅር 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 ቅዱስ ሙዚቃ ሙዚቃ የፍቅር ቋንቋ I wanna know.